You can do it, YouTube. I believe in you. You know what? I'm gonna let YouTube do its thing. I'm going to assume it's streaming because it says it is. And you know what? That's good enough for me. This color is troll skin. Oh, you can focus. Do it. Do it. You're killing me. Good enough. I'll probably do a little stream after I get home tomorrow, a lot earlier than this late at night. Hey, but hey, at least I know it works. At least I know it works. Oh, you know what I should do? Hold on, I just had an idea. If I switch to this, oh boy. Okay, let's not do that. Let me add another. We'll do a. And then if people want to know the song, they can see it right there. Kind of see it, maybe a little bit. Good enough. I'm trying, okay? I'm fucking trying. That's all that matters. I think I'm gonna make a video, an official video, not just talk about it in a live stream that no one will probably watch. But I think I'm gonna make a video where I talk in length about my D&D homebrew. Now, obviously, I can't go into spoiler details because I don't know if any of my friends would watch the video. I don't think any of them do watch, my YouTube channel. But in case they maybe stumble upon it, because they are subbed to the channel, because they're great people. But just in case, I'll probably make a video talking about my homebrew, like what it's going to be about, things like that, without any spoilers, just in case my players end up wanting to watch the video and getting the vibe or whatever I'm going to be setting for it. You know what? Hold on. Let me see if we can't get a little bit more light. There we go. Got 3 sources of light and no arm room because I have so much shit on this desk right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. There is so much shit on this desk. There's trees, like over 100 paints, like 3 dozen minis. I have so much stuff on here, but man, I love painting so much. Painting is so much fun. It's so much fun. I wouldn't give it up. Especially, like I said earlier, I have the fact that I actually get to use every single thing I paint, and it's not just for looks. I'm actually going to get to use these in a campaign. I am so glad that my friends and I ended up getting into D&D. Well, specifically, I guess I should tell this story. Specifically, D&D wasn't something I was into personally or didn't really know about until sophomore, junior year of high school. It might have been near the end of sophomore year and the start of junior year, where I was walking home one day and I saw one of my buddies with some other people who I think I knew because they were friends of his, and they were sitting in the snack bar of our school one day. I passed them and I was walking out and asked them what they were doing. And they said, we're playing some Dungeons and Dragons. You want to play? And at first, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna head home, but I'll see you later. And then the next day, they were doing the same thing. And again, I turned them down. I was like, you know what? Maybe next time. And then the third day, I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll give it a shot. So I sat down. We didn't have any D&D rule books. We didn't have Minds of Phandelver. We didn't have any starter books. We just went with Theater of the Mind with our own rules. It was the most janky. We didn't have minis. It was literally all Theater of the Mind. I don't even think we had cheats. We played D&D with our minds, and that's kind of when I realized that I have quite the imaginative mind when it comes to just creating things from the ether, the bowels, that is the depths of my brain. And I don't know, it kind of awakened like a love for a hobby I never even knew existed. And from that point, it's only gotten, I would say, better, but also worse, because I am a much poorer man today because of the amount of D&D stuff I have made. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not poor, but I would be, as I look over longingly at my shelf of minis over there and all the stuff I have in front of me, I would probably be thousands of dollars richer if I didn't get into D&D. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm also a video gamer, and video gaming can be an expensive hobby, depending on how frugal you are with your money on collector's editions of games and things like that, which I usually don't spend money on stuff like that, but it depends on what it is. So, like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or Elden Ring Night Rain or Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree or anything from Soft, really, Demon Souls. I've got just about everything I can get. The only thing I don't have, which I really want, is a statue of Ornstein from Dark Souls 1, but the prices for that thing are... I can't justify that. That was my phone going off. I forgot to mute that. My apologies. Learn how the call filter protected you in 2025. That's great. I don't care. Okay, let's get the underside here and cover my fingies in paint. Yeah, see? Look at that. Look at that shit. It's part of painting. Love it. You know, when I started the stream, I already said, a buddy of mine came in. He said, and I quote, "Big Stinky." I think I'm going to text him because I don't think he's around anymore. He may have gone to bed, but I'm going to text him. And I'm going to say, how dare you? How dare you pop in and you don't even stick around for the painting and the vibes? Bad friend. There you go. Called him out. Called his ass out. See what he says. And if I can even repeat it on stream. Knowing him, probably not. Okay, it looks like this guy... I'm not going to paint the underside because no one's going to see it since it's going to be sitting on top of a tree, and the only way to see the underside would be to lift it up and look under it, and no one's going to be doing that. So, fucking bite me. Alright, now we need to move this boy over. Get him drying. Let's move on to the next one. My only fear is that I'm going to run out of green because I have, like, I've got like 3 more of these sized ones. 1, 2, yeah, counting this one is 4. Oh, no, I'm blind. 5. So I've got 5 of these ones. And then I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the smaller ones. And I could use different grains, and I probably should. Let's see, what do we got over here? I got tree ant grain, which I guess would work. Okay, so if we run out of the troll skin, we can then do some tree ant green. So I'm not going to run out of green. I do need to run to the store sometime this week and get me some more paints, because there's certain colors that I'm out of. I think I've only got one bugbear brown, which is like really the only brown color I have left. All right, good to know. Getting really close actually makes us focus. Good. Oh, here's another thing. I have yet to talk to my players about it, but I am going to ask them if it's all right if I record our D&D sessions for my homebrew and kind of just throw it up on the channel. Not for like content, but because I want us to remember this campaign forever, and I want to be able to immortalize it somehow. And I feel like the best way to do that is to take, 3 cameras and record everything we do and put it on YouTube. So that way, anytime we want to look back at all the stuff that happened or remember our memories, you can just look at my YouTube channel and boom, everything's there in a playlist. However many episodes it takes to get it done. And I am, where did, oh, the puddle right there. Motherfucker, I ain't trying to paint me. That's what I get for putting the paintbrush down to message my buddy. And he hasn't replied, so I assume he saw me go live and then immediately went to bed after calling me Big Stinky. That's funny. What a goober. Now, when it comes to making these paints go a long way, let me tell you, I use everything that's in here. So when this thing runs out, I even go to my kitchen sink, put a little bit of more cold water in to get even more mileage out of it until that thing is basically completely empty. I get use out of these because I like to get my money's worth, which also explains why a lot of the games I play are older games. I do play newer ones from time to time. Like one game I've been playing recently with my buddy Cole, which I actually might throw a video or two up on the channel, is No Rest for the Wicked. We've been playing that in co-op, and No Rest for the Wicked, man, it might be a new genre of game. I know that there have been co-op, like top-down isometrics before, but this is different. I don't have to be online for him to play or anyone else in the world. It's a perpetual world that people can drop in and out of that randomly regens loot and enemies in certain areas after a certain amount of time. It's like an MMO without massive player base. It's just you and your buddies, and this is your world. And I kind of fucking dig it, you know? So yeah, No Rest of the Wicked, that's what we've been playing recently. And then there's also the games that we always go back to, which is Neverwinter Nights, the first one. We've been playing a little bit of 2, but it's just, I don't know. I don't like 2 half as much as I like Neverwinter Nights 1. But I got my buddy Cole, into Neverwinter Nights 1 a couple of years ago. And it's funny because Neverwinter Nights 1 is a game I've played. I honestly couldn't tell you how long I've played it. I've had that game for as long as I can remember. And it would it come out in like 2000? When did Neverwinter Nights come out? It come out in 2001 or something? I'd have to look it up. But the game's been out forever, and it's a top-down, real-time Dungeons and Dragons game. But it's 3rd edition and a little bit of 3.5, but I think mostly just 3rd edition. And that game be pretty brutal, but it's so fun. Like, if you're not great at making like homebrew worlds and stuff like that, and you need a world that's already built that you can basically turn into its own campaign, look at Neverwinter Nights and look at that first major campaign in the game, which there are a couple, but the first campaign is about like this plague that's kind of been sweeping the city, called the Wailing Death. So the campaign's called the Wailing Death, and there's 4 chapters, a prelude and 4 chapters. And without spoiling anything, because I highly recommend, if you have not played that game, you need to go play it. It is one of the best D&D games ever made. And it's such, I think Beamdog is the company who recently has been, like, the past year, been improving the game with updates. Updates have slowed down now, and I don't know if they're going to do any more, but they basically just remastered the game. And funny enough, the game got a DLC recently, like within the last couple months, for Doom of Icewind Dale, the Icewind Dale book. Somebody made it in the game because there's like a GM mode. Somebody made it, turned it into a DLC, and put it as downloadable for, like, Beamdog put it as downloadable for people to play. And it's literally Doom of Icewind Dale, like the D&D book, but made in Neverwinter Nights. And it is so, I'm playing through it right now. I haven't beaten it, but there's Dark Dreams of Farai, which I have heard is a bit weird, but it's supposed to be based off the Descent into Avernus book. You've got Doom of Icewind Dale, The Wailing Death, Hordes of the Underdark, which is, in my opinion, the best campaign for Neverwinter Nights. It's the 3rd one, Hordes of the Underdark. You get to deal with Mephistopheles in that one. And Shadows of Undrentide, which is like sort of a prequel to Hordes of the Underdark. Or, I guess, The Wailing Death is the prequel to Hordes of the Underdark. I think Shadows of Undertide is its own standalone story. But long story short, there's like 7 or 8, maybe 9 campaigns that you can play. Some you can play with your friends in Neverwinter Nights. And the co-op is really fun. Yes, it's co-op, and it's as many people as you want co-op. And the game does scale to the level and, just to the level and number of members in your party. So it's like got dynamic difficulty. And you can turn on the original hardcore D&D rules where you can kill each other with like AoE spells like Fireball and such if you're not careful. Which, if you're playing with just... the game can be pretty unforgiving at times. But if you're playing with just you and one friend, I recommend not playing on the hardcore D&D rules. Or you're gonna, to quote Sans, have a bad time. If you do have a large group, I recommend it because you'll... Depending on how large your group is, you can steamroll a lot of the game, but if you have hardcore rules on where you can hurt each other, that adds a nice level dynamic of difficulty to where you can't just have like your casters in the back throwing out fireballs willy-nilly and hitting everybody and not caring, because on hardcore, it will kill your friends. I don't even know where I was going with that tangent. I just kind of ended up talking about Neverwinter Nights because it's like one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it's... At some point, I should probably do a video on it. Just give you like a quick synopsis of, hey, this is the best D&D game ever made. And don't get me wrong, I know Baldur's Gate 3 exists. Baldur's Gate 3 is, honestly, it probably is the best D&D game ever made. But I feel like that's just because a lot of people don't know about Neverwinter Nights. And Neverwinter Nights is an old game. If they were to remake Neverwinter Nights, I almost think that they would somehow manage to fuck it up. Because it's not turn-based like Baldur's Gate is. It's not turn-based at all. It's real-time combat. So when you're getting attacked by 4 guys and you're a sorcerer, you have to click what spell you want, go through the casting animation, which if you don't have combat casting, they can attack you and interrupt the spell, and hope that you can cast that spell and it kills them. Or, you can tactically retreat. You can cast a spell, run away while they're chasing you down, but you can also hire AI companions. Maybe if you're playing with a buddy, he can be a melee paladin, and you can be the caster in the back, or a ranger firing arrows, or a bard buffing up the party with bard song. Either way, there's a lot of variety in how you can play the game, but it's real time, which means you have to think on your feet when combat arises, and there's a lot of combat in the game. And to be honest, the story, I actually think the story is really good. This is what I think. Didn't BioWare make Neverwinter Night? Hold on, I actually have to check this. Yeah, it was BioWare. It was developed by BioWare in 2002 and published by Infogrames and later Atari as a 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, okay. So this game was made by BioWare, and this was when BioWare was at its peak. This was peak BioWare. Like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 peak BioWare. So the writing is good. And because it was the dawn of like the 3D model era, before Beamdog took over and added in a bunch of quality of life and model updates, the game didn't look amazing. Your character kind of looked like a melted candle. But since they've added all of these updates and all of these improvements to the game, while it doesn't look like a modern game, it definitely plays like it could. Like the thing with making a D&D game is there's so many variables that no matter how you try and build the game, there's going to be bugs and glitches. But thankfully, the bugs and glitches that happen in Neverwinter Nights aren't game-breaking. They're just funny. Plus, it's one of the games where if at any point you get stuck, you can just type in like a little cheat code and get yourself out of the situation, like all the older computer games used to be. So you just hit the tilde key, type in your cheat code, and you're good to go, And there's also a whole bunch of little exploits and stuff you can do in that game. Like, there's a little exploit you can do if you're a wizard or anyone who can cast a certain spell called Continuous Light. And what Continuous Light does is it makes it so that a normal mundane item gets the permanent enchantment of making it glow. Now, giving it this enchantment increases the value of the item depending on the item, anywhere between 3 times to 100 times its worth. So what you can do is you can go to a merchant, buy a club for like 3 gold, cast continual light on it. The club then sells for 100 gold. So you sell that, you buy more clubs, and you just repeat the process. And that's one way you can get incredibly rich on just buying clubs from a merchant at the start of the game. So technically it's an infinite money glitch. You can do it as many times as you want until you have 10 million gold. And sometimes, you know, you're strapped for cash and you want an item and they've got an item you want, and you're looking at that and you're like, you know what? I'm willing to sit here for the next 5 to 10 minutes cheesing this game to get that item, and the game lets you do it. Now, I've played by Neverwinter Nights so many times, and thankfully there are DLCs that I have bought and still need to play through. But I've played through it so many times that there are some mods I use to enhance the game. Like there's one like to rest in the game, you hit R and it's this loading bar that just slowly fills up, takes about 15 seconds, and boom, you've long rested. You got all your spells back, got all your HP back. It's your long rest, and you can do it anywhere where there aren't enemies. I have a mod that makes that 15-second wait a 5-second wait, just because it saves me time. You know, why would I wait 15 seconds when I could just wait 5? It's just a quality of life mod. And then I've got another mod that makes it so a lot of the creature models have been updated. They look newer and unique, and they have nice designs, because the game is a 2002 game. A lot of the models look pretty old. Now, don't get me wrong, they don't look bad. Neverwinter Nights 2 Neverwinter Nights 1 made the wonderful decision of making a stylistic choice with each and every model in the game, which means no matter how old the game gets, it will always look unique, which is what you should always do with your video games, instead of trying to go with just, oh, photorealistic graphics. Because I will always prefer a game that has stylistic choices in its art over a game that just looks pretty. I'll take Minecraft over a game that looks like, what's a photorealistic game? Red Dead Redemption. Like, don't get me wrong, Red Dead looks great, but I'll take a game that looks like Minecraft, where it's blocky, it's cartoony, it's got its own style, over a more realistic looking game like Red Dead Redemption 2 any day of the week. And I actually, speaking of, I need to try out Hytale. I need to buy that at some point and try it out, because I've heard nothing but glowing reviews about it since the guy bought it back from Riot Games, who fucking I can't believe that. Riot bought that game from the guy, gave him a whole bunch of money, worked on it, decided it wasn't worth it, and shut it down. So the dude bought it back from them at a steal of a price to work on it and have the game become a reality, because he didn't want to see it be forgotten. And you know what? Respect. That is a big dick play right there. Honestly, if I had the money, I'd have done the same thing, because if I give someone my game and they're gonna work on it and then they end up giving up on it, I'm not gonna have what I want to be a reality, a game that I worked on, to fade into obscurity because somebody else didn't have the passion to do what I wanted to do with it. You know, this is actually really relaxing, just painting these treetops, because it's one color. I don't have to worry about getting nooks and crannies. I can just fucking slide the brush over anything I want, and it's, oh cool, it's getting painted. But when we come to like the actual minis, when we get to these guys, when we get to these dudes, the level of detail on these guys is going to be annoyingly and excruciatingly high. It's going to be fun though when they're done, because while he may look like this right now, when I get done with them, they're going to look like this. That's one mini that I'm actually incredibly proud of. I have a whole shelf over there that, maybe I'll make it a video to go through all of the D&D minis I've painted over my years of time in the hobby, which, it's probably not as high as you think it is, because I'm not the only one in my friend group who buys D&D stuff. So a lot of the times my buddies will have their own minis that we'll use and for like sessions and stuff. It's like a cumulative effort, Every single one of us in the group has, well, not every one of us, but like 90% of the people in my friend group have DM'd. There's only like 3 people out of the 9. Well, now 3, because another person got added, but there's only like 3 people out of the 9 who have not DM'd and have always been a player, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be a dungeon master to be a fan of the hobby. In fact, I kind of like envy people who are only players, because you ain't ever got to worry about creating shit other than your character and a little bit of backstory, that there's some nuance in character creation like that, but you're lucky. Not that creating a homebrew world is bad or anything. It's just, you're creating a world. It's gonna be tedious. It's gonna take a while. You have to think of the minute details in certain things. And for someone like me, I love that shit. I love thinking of the small details and of creating literally an entire world from the scraps of my mind, the same way Matthew Mercer did, the same way he did with Exandria and Tal'Dorei and all them, and the same way Brennan Lee Mulligan made Ahriman. And I think he made Ahriman. I don't know if Matt made Ahriman, but I think Brennan made Ahriman. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. For campaign 4 of Critical Role. And just, it's so fun. It's so fun just creating things. I thank God every day that I was born with such a creative mind that no matter what I look at, I can always think of something on the spot. I can always look at something and give a yes and type answer. And I think I've watched Campaign 1 and Campaign 2 of Critical Role. I've seen a little bit of Campaign 3 of Bell's Hells. I didn't really get into Campaign 3. I didn't vibe with the characters a lot, but I'm trying to get back into it. But I've been watching Campaign 4 and watching Brennan Lee Mulligan DM those sessions, and I'm currently caught up with Campaign 4, and he is such an amazing, Matthew Mercer, Abrian Iyengar, and Brennan are some incredibly talented people, just unbelievably talented people. And I aspire to have that level of imagination in my world as Exandria and Ahriman. I only hope that with all the time and effort that I'm putting into my homebrew for my friends, that it turns out as good as I hope it to be. And I hope they enjoy it as much as I want them to. Because I know I'm a good DM. I've been DMing for years. But there's always that part of me that's like, what if they don't enjoy it? That there's always that devil on your shoulder that's like, you've put all this work in, you've done these years of effort, and if they don't enjoy it, that would just kind of crush me. It would kind of really hurt my imagination and make me think, well, maybe I'm not as creative as I thought I was. But I know that that's not going to happen, because I know my friends, I know their interests, they know they're my family, honestly, really, they are. We know each other way too well. Now, don't get me wrong, there are times where we are dysfunctional like a family. Some of our friend group do get into arguments from time to time. It doesn't happen very often, but every family is a bit dysfunctional at times. We're all friends. This is make-believe. It's an extended improv group of make-believe, and none of it really matters. We're here to have fun. Oh, and I know I've got it playing in the corner right there, and it might be real small to see what songs are playing. I just kind of got it there to if people are curious, just zoom in and see the words. But it's just, I literally typed into Google or into YouTube copyright free music playlist and no copyright sounds came up. So I just clicked the playlist and it has like 1,400 songs. And I was like, you know what? Cool. I've never probably heard any of the songs in here, but I want music in the background so that it's not just pure quiet with me talking. Speaking of, I need to drink some dang water because I'm thirsty. That's good stuff. Nice serving of liberty. Once I get all these trees done, probably won't get them done tonight because I'm only going to stream for about another hour because I got to go to bed for work. But when I get all these tree caps done, I'm thinking it might be time for this bad boy. I've had him for over a year, and I think it's time we gave him some love and painted him. Want to get a look at him right there. He's a big boy. We little tiny tail. This is actually a mini from Grim Hollow. If I remember the name, this is called a Chiropteran Behemoth. Had him for a while. Need to paint him because he will be showing up in my homebrew at some point, which is going to be so fun to torture my players with. I like to commonly joke with my friends that I've got a barbed wire bat that every time I think of something horrible and tragic that can happen to their characters to give them character development, I put another rung of barbed wire around the bat and I wait around the corner ready to swing it at them and hit them with it. Kind of like Negan from The Walking Dead with Lucille, but it's the bat of emotional damage, because you know, emotional damage. Do I actually have that flavor over there? I don't think I have that flavor anymore. I think the only two flavors I have are Rad Sickness and Doggy Style. I used to exclusively only drink gamer subs like that. I kind of fell out of use with it for like a couple months, like half a year. And I've only now, after all my other ones have expired, started rebuying them and trying new flavors. But one of my favorite ones is Brand Risk, which is like peach mango. I definitely got to buy that one again. And then there's Berkey Orchid 8's Sweet Six Pack, which I gotta get because that's a good flavor. And then there's also J Schlatt's Titty Milk. That's a good one. That's a good one. Both in name, brand, and flavor. Can't always do detail painting for me, anyway. I try to do as many as I can because I like painting, obviously. But after a while, my hands, they start to shake a lot. So there's only like so much I can do when I gotta hold something super still and paint it. Can only do it for so long. But you know, you do what you gotta do. Speaking of, I actually have to head to the bathroom, so I will be right back. Do I still have my AFK screen? I do! Perfect. We'll be back. Oh, that looks delicious. Drink that and you'll live 1,000 years. Elixir of life right there. I'm sure these paints are totally non-toxic, right? Oh, hey, they're actually non-toxic. That's cool. Alright, cool. Glad I'm not gonna get cancer by getting it on my fingers. Got a storied history with cancer, my family does. And I will continue to say, fuck cancer. It's gay. Oh, come on, lid. Get back on there. Thank you. Kind sir. I don't know why I put it all the way over there. Had a buddy of mine come over a couple days ago on a Saturday, and I was like, hey, I wanted to hang out and I want to paint minis while we do so. You want to paint minis with me? He's like, sure. I've never painted minis before. And I'm like, cool. I have my pile of shame here that I don't care how you paint or what you do with them. And he grabbed 3 bugbears and he painted them majestically. And he made essentially what I dubbed the Bugbear Power Rangers, and they are glorious. And I will use them at some point because they're so beautiful. In fact, give me a second and I will show you They're in my bag right now, so I have to go snatch them out of there. But I will show you the Bugbear Power Rangers and how beautiful they are. Behold the Bugbear Power Rangers. And their bendy maces. Now, they could use a little bit of touch-up, which I might get around to at some point. But for right now, they are perfect. We're actually getting through a lot of these. We might be able to get through all of the top parts if we're awake enough. Thankfully, these don't require a lot of attention to detail. Still gotta make sure I get all the bottoms, though. Not like the whole bottoms, but just the flat bits that sit on top of the tree. Oh, and before, you know, if anybody asks, these are all already primed. I try to buy all of my stuff pre-primed so I don't have to deal with that. That I can just paint it once. Now, if I could, I like painting, but if I had the option to just buy everything pre-painted, I probably would, because that would save me a lot of time on prepping other things. But the problem with buying everything pre-painted is that it's essentially double the price. So, like, if I wanted to buy all of these trees pre-painted, you could say, let's say they were $50, I'd be buying them for like 110, you know? But also, the problem with pre-painted, and this honestly is the reason why I do paint them myself, is because when I paint them myself, I can make them look like anything I want them to. So, like, let's say if I pre-buy something painted and it's a green I don't like, well, I don't want to paint over it, because then why didn't I just buy it unpainted? But if I buy it unpainted, then I can just do it myself. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. Alright, that's another one done. So you can tell the ones that I painted a while ago, like this one, they're already starting to dry, and they look so much better after they dry. They look so much better after they dry. Might just also be the type of paint I'm using. Good water. You know, the thought occurs to me that I really don't know what the fuck my YouTube channel is. I kind of just literally upload whatever the fuck I feel like it, and there's no rhyme or reason. Like, first I was doing stalker videos, then I did some like random videos, back to stalker videos, reaction videos. Now I'm fucking live streaming me painting miniatures, and probably gonna upload No Rest for the Wicked, and maybe even turn this into a video, you know, maybe do like a supercut or something. I don't know. Channel is just, to anybody who actually has subbed to this channel and watches all the videos, you're a legend. Love you. But I have no fucking idea what I am doing. Like, I am just here in this primordial soup with the rest of you, floundering around doing whatever I want. And you know what? The only way this could get any better if I was actually paid for it. Maybe then I'd actually have more time. Damn, man, I wish this cough would go away. I've had this bitch for like a month. I'm about to say fuck it and just go to the doctor and be like, hey, give me some steroids to help me get rid of this cough. Or help me figure out what it is. Knowing my luck, it's probably like bronchitis or some shit. Never had bronchitis before, so, you know, it's a guess. But I have had strep throat like 7 fucking times. And that's never fun, you know, always swallowing shards of glass. That's great. Love that. Need that pain in my life. Twitch chat disappeared from me. Not that there's anybody here, and I'm just talking to myself into the ether like a crazy man. But, you know, you kind of get used to it after a while. When the voices in your head start to talk back, that's when you've got an issue. If it's just you talking to yourself, man, you're probably fine. There you go, that's another one done. And more paint all over my fingers. The price I pay. I don't need any more for this last medium one. Let's see, how many small ones do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8. 8 small ones. Oh, and I'm pretty sure I already showed it, but these are the trees. Which, you know, the canopy will sit on top of and shit. It looked pretty cool. The way they're set up, pretty sure they're not meant to be, like, glued or attached to the tree in any way. I'm pretty sure the way these are literally just meant to sit on top of it. Ooh, I gotta tilt it, but literally meant to just sit on top of it like that. And you know, you can move it around and shit, and it sits well enough to where it won't just fall off, depending on how you place it, I guess. Kind of just, maybe you can like stick it in there. Yeah, just, you know, move it around, shake it, doesn't fall off. Unless you fucking yeet it in the next dimension. Like that. But yeah, when it's sitting on a battle board, it's not like a big issue. Alright, there we go. I think I'm gonna do a double check on this guy real quick. Have him like right here. Oh, nope, I did miss a couple spots on the bottom here. Here we go. Little guy right there. There you go, another one done. Focus! Focus! Alright. Oh yeah, this is taking fucking no time. Super tiny, can just slather this stuff on there. Shit. Yep, there you go. Fucking top's already painted, now we just gotta get the bottoms. There you go. Quick, but, you know, a little messy. Once these are all done, then we can just get to the minis, the bread and butter of painting this, because you know these are just bushes. They're just, well, you know, one note colors. Fucking minis can be upwards of like 5 different colors, sometimes more depending on how detailed you want to get. Getting a lot out of this troll skin paint. That dude should have been empty ages ago. But I added more water to the container after he originally ran out, and he's kind of just been kicking, you know? Ain't really run out yet. If I can get him to run until the end of all these, that'd be great. It also helps that I'm wearing my tie-dye shirt, so if I get any on me, I don't really care. This shirt has a story behind it as well. Then again, what thing doesn't have a story behind it? I was feeling particularly down and depressed one day. Buddy Kyle was doing tie-dye shirts, I think for his birthday, and I asked if he wouldn't mind if I came over and tie-dyed with him, and he said sure, and I hung out, and honestly, really glad I did, because now I've got a memory that I can wear, and kind of really just uplifted me that day, you know? Some days, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be 100%. Some days, you'll be under 10%. And that was definitely one of those days where I was under 10%. It was a good time, tie-dyeing shirts with him. He may not be my brother in blood, but he is my brother in Christ. And there we go, we got them all done. Probably do need to buy a bigger, broad brush. One that's actually like a huge brush that I can just dip it in the paint and just probably speed up some of the painting for broad areas, you know. not too bad. We got done before 11. It was simple, you know, simple painting tonight, nothing too fancy, but just some treetops, you know. And there you go. I'll have to hold these, but there you go. You got your tree with its tops painted. Cool, huh? I think so. I think it's pretty cool. Then again, I'm just a nerd painting some stuff at damn near 11 p.m. on a Monday night. What do I know? We also have some Dwarven Forge terrains here that I need to paint. This is some awesome looking terrain here. You've got like the roots going down through a trench here. You can tell, even though they're not marked, you can tell just by sight, like what a 5-foot square looks like. You've got little, like, you see this guy right here? This is a tree stump. You can untwist, and then boom, you've got a cut tree. And we got little magnets on the bottom, so if you got like a magnet, you can just stick it on. Yeah, this is some cool terrain. This shit was expensive. It was double the price it was painted, but this shit was expensive. And there's like, we got like a whole bunch more over there on my like table than just this one. There's like fucking 8 of them over there. But these will all get painted at some point. Hopefully before I get done with my, we start my campaign. But yeah, we got a lot. We're gonna do a lot of painting streams in the near future. I've got way too much shit to paint. I know nobody dropped by the stream except for my buddy Eric, but if anybody watches this in the future, just want to say thanks for dropping by. Hope you all enjoyed. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.